republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Up-and-coming Republicans in the state of Ohio that I've had the pleasure of serving with in the legislature now for 7 years, for 6 years in the House, and 4 of those years actually when he was the Speaker of the House. Many of you have heard of Jon Husted. You may have heard bits and pieces, some things you may be aware of, some things you may not be aware of. He, once upon a time, was actually an All-American football player at the University of Dayton when they were playing for the national championship. But maybe more recently, some of the accomplishments you've heard of was that he was actually Speaker of the House when, believe it or not, we passed a unanimous budget with a property tax cut for senior citizens. I know we don't have any senior citizens here this evening, but that was part of it. If you know any of them, please pass the word on. That was on Jon Husted's watch as Speaker of the House. We actually passed some of the most comprehensive tax reform in several generations in the state of Ohio with the repeal of the tangible personal property tax on machinery and equipment to try to make our existing manufacturing industries more competitive. That was on Jon Husted's watch as Speaker of the House.
And I was talking to the college Republicans earlier, and I was telling them, 2006, 2008, not exactly fun years for Republicans to be out on the campaign trail. It was hard. It was like walking uphill in 2 feet of mud with a heavy backpack. It was hard trekking. And I was telling them though that 2010 is going to be a different story. And I've been going around the state and I sense a mood among Republicans that shows more interest and energy, and even among independents, that they don't like what has happened in the past 8-9 months in this country with the nationalization of our health care system, perhaps, the nationalization of our economy, the auto industry, stimulus packages that are running up our national debt to a level that is unsustainable, where the Chinese now question whether we'll pay our bills, where the average debt for an individual person now in this country is $45,000. These college Republicans, when they graduate, their share of the bill will be $45,000. An unborn child's share of the bill will be $45,000. We can't sustain this, and people are worried about the future of the country. They're concerned, and Republicans are getting energized. And as I told the college Republicans earlier, 2010 to me is going to be one of those elections. It's going to be fun to be on the campaign trail. It's going to be a lot like 1994 was, when we were able, under Newt Gingrich, to lead a Republican revolution and take back the House and really start a generation of electing new Republican leaders. And we have that kind of ticket. John Kasich running for governor, if you had a chance to meet John, he's really somebody to believe in and get fired up about. Rob Portman running for the U.S. Senate, great guy, honor, integrity. Mary Taylor running for re-election to state auditor, great person. Josh Mandel running for treasurer. We have a great ticket coming together, a chance to take back a congressional seat, 4 of them I think in this state, Fred. I think that's what we're talking about trying to do. That's a real hope for the Republican Party in the future. And my role in that is to win the office of Secretary of State. Now you may ask, why do I care who the Secretary of State is? Well, if you've witnessed what's going on in the last few elections, there sure is a good reason to care about who the Secretary of State is. Because every 4 years we have a presidential election in Ohio. This state's got a lot going on in the presidential election. We get a lot of attention. And you know what? It's not always been good. People have been very concerned about the direction of Ohio's elections. It was kind of embarrassing for us, particularly in the last presidential election, and even a little bit in the one before, that Ohio is considered a place that maybe there's shenanigans going on. And I tell you what, and right now I'll tell you, I think Jennifer Brunner's been a very partisan Secretary of State. If you recall, she tried to prevent McCain absentee voters from getting their ballots in the last election. The Supreme Court overruled her 7-0, said she was wrong. Those people deserve to get their ballots via absentee, to get those things out to them. You know what? When I'm Secretary of State, I'm going to promise you something. Elections, yes, are partisan events. We fight hard. We want our team to win. But they should not be run in a partisan manner. I can do the most for the Republican Party and for the best interest of Ohio if I treat it fair, if I do it with honor and integrity, because you know what? That's what our democracy was based on. Our democracy was based on the fact that the voters would go out, you'd do it by majority vote, the people would believe that the winner was the winner and that they could trust the outcome of those elections and that there weren't going to be any shenanigans. And that's what we need to have from the office of Secretary of State. And that's how I can serve you best, by operating with honor and integrity. And you can count on me to do that.